Through all the shit that I went through in 21, I just can't feel nothing but gratitude for the shit. And that's something that I never thought that I could say, you know, a mindset that I never thought I could reach, but I reached it, right? I'm here. We did it. We survived, right? What's good, everybody? My name is Frankie and welcome to my beautiful Merkaba. Back again after another 2 weeks. I'm trying to get into the 1 week, one video a week vibe thing, but you know, I'm me, so yeah, I can't make no promises, and I'm not going to make any promises because that'll just end up in disappointment. So yeah, if this is your first time seeing my face, first of all, what's up? How you doing? I'm doing great. In my channel, I very much focus on self-healing, self-development, self-improvement, everything about myself. I just want to get to know myself and to heal myself, and so should you. So, you know, if that's, you know, your thing, you know, click that subscribe button right here. I am into astrology, tarot. I'm not into it, like that's my thing, you know, like that's what I'm passionate about right now. It's not my thing. I mean, it is my thing, but like, you know what I mean. It's more than just a thing. And yeah, I'm just very much a no filter type of person. So yeah, if you like that energy, then of course subscribe to my channel. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Today's video is titled Valuable Lessons I Learned in 2021. 2021, I don't know. It like, okay, so ending 2021, right? My perception of it was, wow, what a shitty year. But you know, getting into 22 and like, you know, especially right now as I reflect back on, you know, the past 4 years, because I'm a senior, so you know, a lot of development has happened in the past 4 years, but mainly the past 2 years, because I guess 2020 is when I started my spiritual awakening. I put air quotes on that because I don't like to label it a spiritual awakening, because I've always been spiritual, you know. There was never like, I've always been like this, you know. This version of myself is just the I don't give a fuck how you feel, what you think version, you know. I'm still the same bitch, like, you know. It's just, I just don't, most of it, I would say not most of it, like 60-40, right? That was the ratio, internet being the 60. That's really like how my spiritual awakening or spiritual journey went, you feel me? And in 21 I kind of just like, I kind of leveled up, right, as we naturally do. And I saw that at the end of the day, everybody is just projecting, right? Projection is not necessarily negative, right? That's the thing, we gotta step out of our mind when it comes to words and how we use them, because you can use a word and mean something else, you know. Like when it comes to projections, you know, like usually projection is with a negative connotation, you know. You project your insecurities, you project, you know, all that shit, negative shit, right? But you can project good shit, you can project love, you can project light, you can project good shit as well as bad, right? So yeah, I just realized that at the end of the day, these people are going to be projecting their beliefs, their feelings, their thoughts. They're going to be projecting. And I don't want to like, you feel me, anything into existence, because like I was going to say I am a very suggestible person, you feel me? Like I get really influenced. I get influenced easily. Not so much now, because now that I acknowledge that and I know that about myself, I'm working to transmute that, right? I'm working to, you know, change that shit, because that's not good. You feel me? It's not good to be a very suggestible person, because, you know, most of the time the suggestions that are being suggested to you are not, you know, for your highest good at all. So yeah, it's been a journey. motherfucking journey. And yeah, I learned so much about myself, bro. Like, it was crazy. 2020 was kind of like a without, and then 2021 was kind of like a within type of year. You feel me? Like, that's how the energy went for me, you know? I learned a lot of shit in the outside. Yeah, I did, but my knowledge that I already knew but I wasn't sure about just like was being confirmed and built upon and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And 21, it was just like pure, like within, like we're going within. Like, we don't give a fuck about conspiracy theories. We don't give a fuck about whatever, you know, all the shit that I was, you know, like that's a whole nother video. Conspiracy theories, that rabbit hole can fuck up your mind, especially when you're young, because you're not developed, right? You're not fully developed. So, you know, young people are going to be naturally more suggestible than adults. So yeah, I've been into conspiracy theories since I was like 8 years old. So yeah, but that's another video. So yeah, 21 was wild, and I'm very much looking forward to this year because I'm just a whole nother person, bro. Like, not really at all, but like, yeah, you feel me? Like, all my aspects, all of my past selves, right? Like, freshman, sophomore, junior Frankie, all those beings are like fully integrated into senior Frankie, and it's just like, dog, like, I'm graduating high school, I'm graduating spiritual school, like, I'm going on to the next level, and it just feels so gratifying. And you know, through all the shit that I went through in 21, I just can't feel nothing but gratitude for the shit. And that's something that I never thought that I could say, you know, a mindset that I never thought I could reach, but I reached it, right? I'm here. We did it. We survived, right? That's one thing I gotta say. You gotta congratulate yourselves. All the little victories, all the little accomplishments, all the level ups, you gotta congratulate yourself, and you gotta give yourself that gratitude. You cannot, I was gonna say you cannot look for external gratification. You can do what the fuck you want. But internal gratification from yourself, that shit just hits different. There's no other gratification that will make you feel better than the gratification you give yourself. So, fucking period. But let's get into the points that I wrote down. So, number one is, my journey is supposed to be different than everybody else's. The universe has a specific plan for you, and you are on divine time. So why are you over here trying to rush shit? Why are you over here trying to work in a linear fashion? Like, that's not how it. Sassy, come here. Sassy, come here. I'm not playing with you. Come here. I'm not playing with you. Come here. Come on. But yeah, spirit doesn't work linearly. Spirit works like this, exponentially, right? Because that's that linearity. I don't know what the word for that is, but you know what I mean. That's not spirit. That's masculine energy, right? Spirit is feminine energy. Spirit is both yin and yang, but predominantly feminine energy, because that's where the spirit comes from. The spirit comes from within, you know? Everything from within, this feminine energy, right? Everything that you come, this is masculine, right? This is all masculine energy. So, yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah, I found myself, like, once I met my higher self and social media kind of added on to that, I kind of like felt rushed. I kind of felt rushed to heal. I felt rushed to learn. I felt rushed to do anything spiritual, right? I didn't really feel spiritual, right? I did, but like, I just didn't feel genuine, you feel me? Like, now I'm genuine. Like, I've always been genuine, but like, the journey, it wasn't genuine, you know? It was genuine in the primordial intention. I don't even know if I can use that word right, but the intention, it was just to heal, to learn, and I did all that, but it's just, I recently, not recently, this has been something that I've known for quite a bit, but I'm a very extreme person. I tend to be a very extreme person. And when something just ignites my spirit, right? When something just like, I just full motherfucking force, right? But the thing is, I don't think before I do. And that's why Spirit gave us this mind so that we could think and we could plan accordingly, right? I guess I'm in year 2 of my spiritual awakening, and it's great. It's fucking great because I'm working on my own time. I'm working with divine time. And I'm not worried about healing first before Lizzie or Mac, right? I'm worried about me. I'm not even worried, period. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to be worrying about? You know? There's no point in rushing, because when you start to rush and you start to put the energy into, you know, your reality that you need to get so and so done by so and so time, especially when it comes to something that comes from within, something spiritual especially, that's when the shit starts stirring up, because spirit works in a non-linear fashion. So yeah, you don't want to put a time date on your spiritual journey, right? You don't want to, I mean, you can if you want, because like I said, you can do what the fuck you want, but like saying, oh,
I started my spiritual awakening on so-and-so date,
or I'm on year 2, like, that shit is just so linear. Like, that makes no sense. You know, like, it makes no sense, like, because of the simple fact that if you're on this path, you always knew something was not right from the get-go. You knew, right? But it was that fear, that indoctrination, you know, that those limiting beliefs, you know, that shit just pulls us back OD. So there was no start date. You came out the womb knowing that this shit is fake. You came out the womb knowing that you have all the power within you. So there's no date, right? That I feel like social media kind of like romanticize that shit, you know? Like I never heard, I don't hear of people that have been on their journey for years say, oh yeah, I started my journey in March of 2020, you know, because that's what I used to. I just hear them start, yeah, I started in 2011, you know? Like they just put a year on it, because it's just like, it's something that happens non-linearly. So yeah, that's the first thing, you know. That's the first thing that I realized, that my journey is not supposed to be the same. I'm not supposed to learn the same shit that everybody else is supposed to learn. I'm not supposed to, you know, do certain shit, you know. It's just not meant for me in this lifetime, you feel me? And yeah, that's that. And it's kind of like a mindset at this point, you know. And it's helped me so fucking much, because I'm a very Virgo ass bitch. So I tend to overthink, over-articulate, over everything. So yeah. Moving on to the second thing. Everybody and everything is temporary, but love is infinite. I've lost a lot of people, literally and metaphorically, in the past 4 years, and it has broken me to my core. When you get broken, right, you're not supposed to put the pieces back together. You're supposed to make something new from it, right? Those were not the exact words. I articulated it so well before. I said it to my cousin yesterday. I don't know how I articulated, but basically the vision that Spirit keeps showing me is a vase being thrown at a wall and it shattering in pieces, right? And me picking up the pieces and being like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do with this? And then Spirit's like, well, you can't put it back together. I mean, you could try. You could definitely try, but it'll look very ugly. And I don't think your Virgo ass will like that. So I suggest you make something new out of it, right? That's the vision, you know. If you can't put it back together, you might as well just make something new from it. Period. So that's how I've been going about this year. Well, last year. I'm picking up the pieces and just breaking them more so I can turn it into something else, so I can transmute that energy and make it into something else, something more beautiful. So yeah, one thing that I gotta say is that you can remove somebody from your life and still have love for them. The fact that you did the thing, the fact that you removed that person, the fact that you had the courage, the courage to remove that person because you know that it was not serving you and it was not serving that person, says a lot, right? There's love right there. There's love for you and that person, but mostly for you, because you know that if you let that relationship, keep growing, then it's just gonna grow into a whole bunch of weeds and you're gonna be fucking, unraveled in a whole shit storm of weeds. So yeah, it's best to just cut the shit out when you can, right? Now, when it comes to like really close relationships, it can get very tricky, especially when you're a Libra moon. So take your time. Like I said, you don't have to rush anything, right? It's all in divine timing. But if you feel that a relationship does not serve you, is not serving you, you need to take responsibility and start removing yourself, right? It doesn't happen overnight, right? You're not gonna be like, all right, I'm done, I wanna cut this person off. It doesn't happen like that, right? Like we say, we fell off. Fall off, fall back, okay? Fall back, because you know it's not serving you, right? You know that the energy it does not match, right? It's you're over here and this person is over here. It's not serving you to stay in that relationship, platonic, romantic, whatever, right? It doesn't serve you, so start removing yourself. There shouldn't be any type of animosity, because if there wasn't no shit talking, there wasn't no beef, then there is no reason for there to be animosity. It's people get divorces all the time just because they fall out of love, and they still remained good friends. They still, like nothing ever happened. Like you can do that. Okay, you just need to stop overthinking. Just the first step that you need to take is start removing yourself, and you'll be fine. Hey y'all, Future Frankie here. One thing that I wanted to post this on my spiritual account, but wasn't giving. But I want to insert it here because it makes sense. So if you don't want to cut the person off, then you're gonna have to learn how to say no. You're gonna have to learn how to make and reinforce boundaries, strong ones, and maintain those boundaries. If you can't do that and you can't do that right now, then it's best to just cut it off. But if you don't want to cut it off and you are the type of person to not be afraid of confrontation like me, then do your thing. Do what you feel like you need to do. Always follow your intuition. Always listen to your heart and your divine guidance, and you will prevail. Period. I think this kind of hit me hard when my dad transcended. I was gonna say passed away, but I want to stop saying died, passed away, whatever, all those negative words, because he didn't die, right? He's very much alive. Like I'm not saying that to make myself feel better. I'm saying that because I truly do believe and feel that he is not dead, because he's not. I'm here. I'm a part of him. His spirit still lives through memory. His spirit still lives through the house, right? I always feel his energy. Because my dad always was on my ass, bro, because I'm the baby, and I got all spoiled and shit. He wanted to protect me and shit. So it's just like he's still protecting me. He's still on my ass. I can still feel the energy, and I love it so much. And yeah, so it's the love that keeps it infinite, right? Everybody and everything is temporary. Everybody, right? But the spirit, the spirit is made out of love and light, and that shit is infinite. So yeah, like I'll probably make a separate video about this, but dealing with my father's passing, or transcendence. I'm gonna say transcendence because he did transcend. It was very weird, because it was just very weird. But I'm so glad that, you know, I have the knowledge that I have, and I am this far into the journey, and I have the beliefs and the mindset, the right mindsets to keep myself grounded in the fact that his body is no longer in this plane. You know, that death is something that's traumatic. Like it's weird, you know. It's hard, it's weird to deal with, you know, and it's weirder when it's your own parent. The love is infinite, okay? So always project love as much as you can, even to the motherfuckers that deserve to get a sock in the face. Project the love, okay? And you can project the love by just ignoring, right? That's love right there, because I can do you dirty and clock your ass, but we're not gonna do that because I have love for you. Okay. The third thing that I learned in 2021 is where focus goes, energy flows, child. Mindful consumption is a necessary thing to cultivate. If you're not mindful of what you're consuming, mind, body, and spirit, right? Entertainment wise, food wise, energy wise, like, you know, what type of people you're hanging around with, then you have no control over your life, right? And that's something that I am kind of like obsessed with, I guess, because I'm a Capricorn rising. I'm kind of a control freak in the Virgo, I think, and me too. It's just, it's very ghetto for me in my chart. There's little that I can control. There's very little that I can control in this life, but what I can control is myself, right? That's the only thing that I have full control of. So now that I know that, now that I realize that, right, it's just like level up. You feel me? Because I don't have an excuse anymore to let shit drag on. I no longer have an excuse to let people fuck with my energy, or let things, or let food or anything. I no longer have an excuse, right? Because it's now a beautiful plant. It's now a beautiful flourishing plant. That mantra, where energy flows, where focus goes, energy flows, right? That's the seed that was sown in 21, and it's now a beautiful ass plant, right? So I cannot act like that, like I don't know that, you feel me? Like I can't act like that shit is not true, because it's very much true, right? So yeah, you know, you want to be very, and I feel like moderation is very much important, because I was I think in like the beginning of my spiritual awakening, I was kind of getting a lot of self-imposed beliefs and self-imposed limitations on myself. I was putting that onto myself because of the fact that, you know, the influencers that I followed, you know, they would say shit like that, you know, and they would you know, they would say shit like that, and I would be like, oh, okay. You know, like you're not gonna, you know, be like, oh, okay, so I gotta, you know, you're not gonna do that, but I am. I am. Now, it wasn't like that, you know, like instantly, like the first time I heard something like that, that's, you know, what happened. It's just like, I was just like, oh, okay. So like, you know, I started, you know, trying to, not even trying, it was just like, I was going hard on the vegetarian, on the veganism. I was going hard on that, and I wasn't even a vegetarian, right? Like I found out that dairy is, you know, super fucking bad for you, and that meat is super fucking bad for you, and I was just like, oh, wow, shit, you know. And yeah, like I wanted to become a vegan, right? But I wasn't even a vegetarian at the time, and I was like, oh, okay, so first of all, let me become vegetarian. And yeah, but I was still like in that mindset of I want to be vegan, so I was like, you know, cutting out dairy and eggs at the same time that I was cutting out meat, and it was just like a whole, like, bro, it was just, it wasn't working, because I kind of was making it happen too quick. I was trying to make it happen way too quickly because, you know, I was kind of scared. You know, like I said earlier in the video, I felt rushed in my spiritual awakening and my spiritual journey. And yeah, so I became vegetarian in August of 2020, and I'm not vegan. I don't think I'll be vegan for a while. You know, maybe when I get my own place, and you know, cause you know I mostly rely on my mom to, you know, cook for me because I don't know how to motherfucking cook. I mean, I do, but like I don't want to because like why would I cook around my mom? But I'm learning like her recipes, like, and I plan to transform. I plan to veganize them. You know, once I, you know, get myself established in my own place and shit. And yeah, you know, I know how to make basic shit like rice and beans and fucking, you know, potato salad. You know, basic shit. You know, basic fucking shit. But I want to learn how to make yapingacho, which is basically like sofrito and peanut butter, right? Busted. I just ate that right now. Busted. Right? It's an Ecuadorian dish. And yeah, but my good sis put a little bit too much milk in it. I mean, it probably wasn't a lot because she knows, you know, that's my mom. Like, she's been making this shit for years. But like, to me, it was just like, she was putting way too much milk, right? And I mean, I don't feel like, I mean, I did feel a little bit of stomach pain today in school. And I was like, what the fuck is that? You know, like, ugh. I think it was a little ulcer because I kind of did feel a little burning. My stomach, my little heart. And yeah, so you know, little shit like that, you know, like you got to pay attention to your body. Like if your body is, you know, doing shit like that, then that means that you probably shouldn't be eating what the fuck you ate last night, you know. It's common sense. I mean, it's not too common out here because, you know, we were programmed to, you know, believe in the most stupidest, ridiculous shit. So we sip. What was I talking about? Yeah, mindful consumption, child. Think of it like this, right? This is the best way I can put it. I can articulate it. You have a dependency on coffee or weed, right? You don't want to just like stop drinking coffee and stop smoking weed because you want to stop. You want to stop. You don't want to stop all at once. You want to wean yourself off. You know, you want to go from every day to every other day, every other day to every 2 days. You know, you don't want to, you know, just stop because obviously you'll get withdrawal, you know. And it's crazy, bro. It's so crazy how people get withdrawal from coffee because it's not really like socially accepted. It's not a socially accepted fact that coffee is a drug, right? Caffeine is a drug, you know. I don't care what you say. It's a drug, you know, because it's a stimulant, and it's a plant. It comes from a plant. It's a fucking stimulant, you know. It alters your mind, okay? So it's a drug. So it's very funny and it's very, very, very hypocritical for people to bash on other people who have dependencies and because I don't like to say addictions, and you know, especially like weed smokers. Like people love to talk shit about weed smokers and they be drinking fucking 2 cups of coffee, fucking 3 cups of coffee a day. You know, people would be drinking like fucking like more than that. Like it's crazy. Like how do y'all, what? Like, Lord, have the mercy. I'm getting tired of being high. I find that being sober is like being high. You know, for me, it's like roles are reversed, and it's funny how that, you know, how that's going out, how that's, you know, unfolding for me because, you know, I want to stop smoking weed as much as I do. I don't want to stop smoking weed forever. But I definitely don't want to be smoking every day, you know, like I was, you know. So some weeks I don't. Some weeks I smoke like twice in that week, 3 times. Some weeks I smoke every day. It really depends on how I feel and what I'm going through. But, you know, because weed has been my number one coping mechanism since before my spiritual awakening, since before I met my higher self. So, yeah, that's something that it takes time. It very much takes time to release, heal, and dissolve. You know, you don't want to, you know, like it's not that easy. You would think, but it's not. Because our body, it likes to be comfortable, right? So when you have a habit, that's your comfort zone, right? When you just completely cut out that habit, you're uncomfortable as fuck. You know, your body's like,
yo, where is my shit at?
You know, it goes through withdrawal. So yeah, not many people know that. Maybe y'all should know that, but yeah, now you know if you didn't know. Yeah. And ultimately, that's how you create your reality, right? By where your energy goes. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on your healing, or are you focusing on your business, right? And that's fine, right? Though that's very much fine. But you don't want to be focusing on your business more than you're focusing on your healing, right? Because you know damn well that you're not healed from all your trauma. So don't play. I'm realizing that I am traumatized by shit that I don't even know I'm traumatized by. You know? But yeah, like, I don't know. It's just very, very, very weird. It's just very, 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 very weird, because you would think that, you know, through this journey, right, through this healing journey, like, you're healing through the most prevalent traumas, right? The shit, like, you know, like for me, you know, my mother's, you know, alcoholism, right? That was very traumatic for me as a child. And, you know, up until like, last year, she stopped. Well, not stopped, but she stopped doing crazy shit. You know, she still drinks, but she doesn't drink as much, thank God. And yeah, it's just the shit she does when she's drunk that just fucks everything up. So yeah, you know, healing from that shit and everything. You know, healing from my dad, you know, telling me that, you know, gay people are gonna burn in the lake of fire for eternity. You know, shit like that. You know, healing from that shit is just like that's the most prevalent trauma that I have. You know, there's more, sadly, but you know, off the top of my head. But there's little things, right? There's little things that are so big, right? They're so little to the conscious mind, but no, to the unconscious mind, right? It's unconscious, because, or the subconscious, fucking, I don't know, but one of your minds. It's so little in comparison to, you know, all the other shit that you may have been through, but it still has the same effect, right? Because it still, you know, shaped you into the person you are today. For example, when I was a freshman, my best friend at the time introduced me to her friends, right? And we became a friend group, right? We went out together, and you know, this and that. But that friend group was very fucking toxic, and it was just, all in all, just shicey energy, and it just was very ghetto. And I knew, right? I knew, because I've always, like I said, I've always been like this. I've always had a strong intuition. So I never felt like I fitted in. I never felt wanted, you know? I felt like they knew that I knew. I don't know why, but, yeah. So just like, you know, being like me, like, I'm very, like, I'm Capricorn rising, like, I'm very reserved, and not until you get to know me and, you know, I feel comfortable with you, the Leo sun comes out, right? It doesn't come out until I feel comfortable with you. So yeah, I rarely felt comfortable with that group. So, you know, that's trauma in itself. You know, putting yourself in that situation, you know that you don't want to be in, but you still proceed to stay in it. That you're traumatizing yourself, right? And in turn, you're allowing more trauma to fester into your life. And you know, a lot of people will get triggered when you know, anybody says something like that you allow your trauma, because it's true. You know, it doesn't mean that it's your fault. Ain't nobody saying that. So calm your horses. You know, past us, right? Us in 2019, 2020, that's a whole different bitch, right? The version of you back then did not know nearly as much as the version of you now knows, right? So you have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself that leeway to accept the fact that, yeah, that was a mistake that I made, right? But I forgive myself. And now that I know, I will never let that energy feed on me ever again. You know, it's all about accountability and accountability. It's all about accountability, and the rest comes in later. But yeah, it's just like once you just, you know, keep it a buck with yourself, once you, you know, acknowledge the fact that, yeah, like, you know, you could have avoided all that shit. I could have easily just not hung out with them, you know? But, you know, as a teenager, as a fucking freshman, you know, I don't want to, you know, be alone and shit, you know? And, you know, like, my best friend, she introduced me, and, like, you know, I'm tight with her, and it's like, yeah, like, if she cool with them, I'm cool with them, you feel me? Like, type shit. But I think that's all I have for you guys today. Yeah, I really just wanted to, you know, come out here and share this, because this is something that I've been wanting to discuss with y'all, you know, in regards to the whole journey, you know, all the, you know, lessons and all the experiences that I had to heal through. You know, we're healing, and we're very much not ashamed. We're very much, you know, getting through this shit with grace and compassion for ourselves and for others, the ones that hurt us too. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, leave me a like button, because Sassy is so adorable, isn't she? If she is adorable, then turn on them post notifications if you don't have them on already. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.